Well, good evening and welcome to yet another special edition of DXB Today. And just a handful of weeks remaining in 2023, the year of sustainability, and of course, the big one, COP28, getting underway next week. We thought we'd have ourselves a sustainability special. Here's what's coming up.
Our very own Layne went down to Fujairah and swam with, I was going to say dolphins, turtles. He swam with the turtles and it looked absolutely incredible. We'll check that out later.
That looks like so much fun. Our very own Faris caught up with some of the biggest exhibitors participating at WETEX, the region's largest sustainability and clean energy technology exhibition.
Plus, we've got the last week of the fitness challenge upon us as well. Nora is going to be inspiring, I was going to say, us all with fitness. Well, we'll get inspired, but we'll do it comfortably from the sofa, okay?
Yes, exactly, because Katie has already done her warm-up and she's ready for the fitness challenge, aren't you, Katie?
Yep, that's it, coming towards the end of the Dubai Fitness Challenge. It's going to be an interesting one because I've seen some of the equipment that Nora's got ready for us, but do you know what? I'm game. I'm game. Have
Good
you
stuff.
Done anything towards the Dubai Fitness Challenge, Tom?
Yeah, very much so. Been supporting it all along the way. But been to a number of events, etc. as well. So
Lovely.
yeah, been doing my bit, my 30 by 30, but it's a busy one at the moment.
Yeah.
But lest we forget, Dubai Fitness Challenge, obviously a challenge for a month. Year of Sustainability has been going on throughout the entirety of this year. Comes to a conclusion at the end of 2023 with the big finale being COP28. We are COP ready at the moment, but are we living more sustainable personal lives at the end of 23 than we were at the beginning?
I'm not sure, because when it comes to sustainability, it is such a broad topic and there are so many different aspects to it. There is the economic, the environment, the social, and of course we'll have experts who come on the show a little bit later on to talk to us about it. But the good thing is that many companies want to make these green investments, you know, investments towards sustainability, but also many other companies have been accused of greenwashing, which is of course the practice of misleading the public to think that you are more environmentally sustainable than you are. But again, I'm no expert. Our experts who will come on the show in just a bit will tell us more about it.
And that's the thing, isn't it? You know, sustainability was one of those buzzwords. So we're just hoping by the end of 2023 and by the end of COP that it's not a buzzword, but it is actually something we can all put in place. I
think that's one of the examples we've learned from previous COPs. Obviously, we're having our very own 28, first time here in the GCC region. So significant for us. But the big issue will, of course, be the legacy build. You know, it's all good and well chirping sustainability left, right and centre all the way to the build-up and the launch of COP, but it has to continue there afterwards. A, from the initiatives that you mentioned, from corporate initiatives, and B, from just us doing
ourselves.
Something
we've got to do something. Well, hopefully we're going to learn a lot more from our guests today. But speaking of our guests, we of course have a special guest co-host every single episode. So let's see who is going to be with us today.
Hi, my name's Anthea Ayash. I'm the founder of The Ethicalist, the UAE's first sustainable lifestyle magazine, and I can't wait to join you this evening.
Anthea will join us right here in the hot seat in just a few seconds. But first, Layne went out into the sea at the Royal Beach Hotel to swim with the turtles with the ocean photographer Jonathan Greenway. Let's take a look.
Now, whether you live in Dubai or you're just visiting, there is one thing you absolutely need to do, and that is embrace the sea. So I've come to Fujairah for the day to meet someone who is very passionate about ocean life, but has also merged his business of photography together with it. And one of the best activities you need to do is snorkeling. So, Jonathan Greenway,
good morning.
How are you, man?
Thank you so much for joining me.
Very good to see you. So tell me more about the difference between snorkeling and diving, because I've been diving. But snorkeling, I don't know, is it good?
Oh, absolutely. Well, this is a more simplified version. Scuba diving, we're going to take pressurized air with us. With this, it's much quieter. We don't need the cylinders, there's no bubbles. You can get closer to the animals. It's much simpler and anyone can do it.
Fantastic. So tell me more about this massive camera you've got, man.
I have got an Aquatech Sportizing with a Canon R5 inside it with my GoPro on top. Shooting stills with this, and we'll shoot video with this at the same time.
Oh, fantastic, man. So when it comes to like conservation and sea life and really trying to preserve things that we have here in the UAE, how does this contribute to that?
Well, I found that through photography you can show people how beautiful our marine life really is. It's so easy to just look at the surface and not see what's actually going on, but if we can bring that to everybody and show them how beautiful this place is in the UAE really is, I think that's very important.
So how have you merged your business of photography into this like snorkeling excursion? How did that come together?
Well, it was actually a funny story. I used to do this thing where I just look for places with the satellites, and I was having a look in one evening and I had a look at, found this beautiful reef with the satellite, and I was like, we need to drive out there. So we jumped in the car, packed our stuff in, found the spot, we're sitting down looking at it, jumped in the water and saw this huge amount of turtles. I really didn't expect to see so much sea life here.
But what other kind of marine life is there and what we should be caring about as well?
We have huge amounts of tropical fish. There's lots of stingrays. There's the parrotfish all over the reef here. A little bit further down, just by the mountains there, you already start to get basking sharks, whale sharks.
And this is what I'm saying, I know about, as I said, diving and stuff like that. I've done a little bit of snorkeling in Barbados, where I'm from, but this is going to be a complete new experience for me and I'm very excited. Thank you for sharing this with everyone.
And thanks so much for joining me.
Cool, man. So, should we go, man? Let's do this.
Let's do it, let's get kitted.
All right, brother.
All right, so we're going to be swimming with the turtles today. To get ourselves a little bit closer to them, to interact with them and not stress them out, and also you want to obviously get close to them.
So Jonathan, I saw it from a distance, now we are so close to this amazing rock. What is it? Where are we?
This is called Diba Rock. As you can see, there's a lot of, in these dark patches here, there's a whole lot of reef growing around here. The amounts of tropicals growing, living in this place is amazing. There's a lot of nice, beautiful color corals. There's the purple and the red corals up here. Been seeing some small black tip reef sharks off the side there. They're very small, don't worry, we're not on the menu. It's also a great space for the turtles. They migrate from that side back to this rock all the time. We see them hanging off the back there, sometimes on the shallow spots as well. It's an amazing spot for scuba diving and for free diving.
Perfect. All right, let's do it, man.
Cool, let's go. Yes.
Dave, that was so cool, man. Thank you so much, man. What an experience. What an experience.
What a day in the water.
Man, you could just see so much. It's just fantastic. And you can see it on TV or you can see it in real life. I choose the latter, and you should too. Jonathan, big up.
So there we are, our very own intrepid Layne, taking one for the team there. Right, let's get back to our special for you today. Our guest co-host today is the founder of the UAE's first sustainable lifestyle magazine with a passion for human rights and conservation. With over 15 years of journalistic experience, she is here to deliver compelling news stories with a strong focus on saving the planet and its people. got a work cut out. Please welcome Anthea Ayash to the show. Anthea, good to see you as well.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for agreeing to be our guest co-host today. I suppose the best place to start, and you were something of a groundbreaker when it came to sort of sustainability and in terms of trying to embrace a sustainable living with the publication of the Ethicalist. But is the word getting across? Are we living more sustainable lives now?
So the reason that I decided to launch the Ethicalist magazine is because I felt that when you use the term sustainability, some people can think that it's a bit complex, it's technical, for want of a better word. A lot of people who aren't interested necessarily in sustainability. So we felt that by launching a magazine that made it accessible to everybody in ways that would be enjoyable to read, so covering up with good storytelling, complicated issues, that perhaps we could get more people to start embracing change in their daily lives. You know, our mantra is to change attitudes one article, one day, one person at a time. And by using, like I said, storytelling techniques, you can get people more emotionally involved with stories. Say if it's about conservation, you can deal with technical issues, but you have people reading about, you know, the plight of particular animals, and you use beautiful imagery alongside that, you're going to get more and more people involved with wanting to make a difference. So, for example, with that, it could be about palm oil destruction, the palm oil plantations in Indonesia. You'll get more people reading that and then thinking, oh, maybe I'll start looking at buying my peanut butter that doesn't have palm oil in it. So,
is it working?
In answer to your question, I think that yes, people are reading. I think there is certainly beginning to become more of a change, particularly here in the UAE, with the fact that we've got COP28 on our doorstep. I think more people are aware of sustainability, and we have provided them with a platform that allows them to make small changes in their day-to-day habits.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing, isn't it? Is making, we were just saying it before you came in, it's making those big changes. Yes, we can talk about COP28 and Year of Sustainability, but it's actually what we're doing at home, and of course with, I don't have children, but with children and our, you know, the next generation and stuff. I'm going to ask a controversial question, Anthea, which I think you would expect from me anyway. Is it counterintuitive, if you don't mind me asking, producing a magazine that is supposed to be sustainable?
Oh, not to you, Katie. You had to go there.
I did. Well, you know.
We have been asked this question a lot, so
Okay,
it's fine. And we asked ourselves this question before launching.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we wanted to reach a wider audience here in our home base. We're a homegrown magazine. So we have, as a digital platform, we've been going for 18 months, and we have a wide global audience in the UAE, the UK, the UAE. So we decided we wanted to reach more people here in the UAE. So we said, right, let's launch a print edition.
Okay.
But we obviously had to address how to do that sustainably. We did actually manage to find a printer here who we have used wood-free paper. Now, it's actually still from wood, but it means it's not associated with deforestation.
Amazing.
So the woods are in Europe, and they exist to move people away from typical timber-producing countries such as Brazil or Indonesia, where there's a lot of deforestation and therefore biodiversity loss, endangered animals, indigenous communities. So we got our paper from Europe, and we've used soybean ink. So flicking through it, you may notice that it's slightly more matte. It doesn't have that glossy sheen that people are used to in a magazine, and that's because the soybean ink, absorbs slightly more. But this is what sustainable printing looks like.
I'm actually really pleased I asked now, because it's fascinating, and Tom's mesmerised by it.
Absolutely.
And you know, also we're only distributing locally. While we do have a global audience, we have limited our carbon footprint by only distributing in the UAE, and we've also tried to offset emissions by planting trees. So
I love it. You're not actually saying it, you are actually doing it, so that's important.
We try. We try.
Anthea, when I was going through your website, the whole idea behind it is to create conversations and galvanize real lasting change. One article, one person, one day at a time. How do you hope to change people's mindset and lifestyle through the kind of content that you create?
Okay, so I mean, it goes back slightly to what I was saying in answer to Tom's question, is that we're trying to make it as accessible as possible. So we deal with topics that you would find in a normal lifestyle magazine: beauty, travel, food, parenting, things that the everyday person is interested in, but they might not necessarily be interested in sustainability. So say somebody comes onto our website to read a clean beauty article because they're interested in health and wellness, but they're not necessarily interested in sustainability per se. They'll start learning about why it's important to start embracing clean beauty and not using chemicals, but inadvertently. The same goes to parenting and travel. We still say to people, look, you can still enjoy your everyday life the way that you normally live your life. You don't have to have a huge upheaval. These are the small changes that you can make to make a difference.
I suppose the why Dubai question we have to ask as well, in terms of this was something you wanted to do. It was a passion of yours. You got it off the ground here in Dubai, in the UAE. Was that a good place to launch a brand like this? Was it the right time, the right place to launch a brand like this here in the UAE? Because it is a global question at the same time.
Well, I mean, that's a very good question, because actually I tried to launch the magazine originally in 2017, and unfortunately at that time it wasn't quite right. Sustainability wasn't the word that was on everybody's lips then, and so we closed it in 2018, even though I knew that this was really pressing issues that needed to be addressed. And then 2 years ago, or nearly 2 years ago, I decided to relaunch it because I could feel that the UAE was really moving towards sustainability, and there are so many initiatives being rolled out in the country at the moment, obviously because COP is coming, but I personally feel that all these initiatives, a lot of them are not going to go away come January. I think that we're on a momentum in the UAE, and we have to be globally. These are issues that need to be addressed. We can't just say, oh, you know, this is important now, but it's not tomorrow. As every day progresses, it's going to become more and more important, and in the UAE, we're doing a lot.
I love to picture that moment. What was it? End of last year, beginning of this. You know, when we always get the announcement of what the next year is going to be called. You know, year as I had last year. This year was Year of Sustainability. Can you imagine the Irish household going, yes, told you so, told you, it's all worthwhile.
I've
been trying to say, listen to me.
It's true. Anthea, listen, you're going to be sticking around for the whole episode. We're very excited to learn more from you, and of course with our next guest as well, so stick around, won't you? Right, but after the break, we talk about how to conserve the region's heritage with Nadia Rushdie, so don't go anywhere.